Her tits are the reason you're here. Please give it up for my buffa. It's Hannah Jarlander.
Good, Michelle, thank you for saying all of that, for dragging everybody for not knowing you as long. Really made me feel really special. But hi, I'm Hannah. For those of you who don't know, which I think is maybe one of you. That's fine. It's Lucas. It's Lucas who doesn't know who I am. But I'm Hannah. I am the producer for tonight's event, which I regret doing like that. There's like 20 of us on a Zoom. Pull this together. And yeah, I'm a New York City based comedian, which feels like a given, but I say a lot because I did move in with my mom during the pandemic when I got furloughed from my job. And I really wasn't too upset about getting furloughed. It wasn't that big a deal to me until I did not get paid. And I started picking up on what was going on there. That's my way of telling you guys I did not know what a furlough was, which is my way of telling you guys I'm dumb, but that's what I get for being hot and popular in high school. You know, that's my cross to bear. But yeah, no, I wasn't upset about the furlough. And then they didn't pay me, and I was like, Mom, you got to come get me. So yeah, I moved in with my mom during the pandemic, which I thought was going to be really hard for me, but was probably a lot harder for her because she could no longer like ignore the fact that I do stand-up comedy, because it was like happening in her living room like twice a week. Not to brag. There was a period of time where I was going up twice a week on Zoom, but there's no need to talk about that right now. But yeah, I think it was hard for her to like not be able to ignore that I'm like talking about like my vagina as like a funny thing anymore. I'm also gonna go out on a limb and say the phone sex was really hard for her too. Yeah, a good cum slut doesn't stop for anyone. Golden rule. I guess cum slut is a really big jump from like I have phone sex. There's like sluts and then there's like cum sluts. Cum sluts are like the hybrids. Okay, you know what? I have to stop using words like I don't know what they mean during my sets. Like I don't know what hybrid means. Like I mentioned the word dumb. So I don't know what hybrid means, but I'm thinking like super slut. You know what I mean? You guys get it?
Yeah.
Someone messaged me afterwards. Don't let me get into it right now. Just tell me if I use hybrid correctly, and just so I know for my next show. But yeah, I'm gonna guess the phone sex was hard for her, but I do empathize with like the parents of sluts and like of cum sluts. Like that has to be, like there's no way this is what she wished for. I mean, like to her, I'm like her little girl, but like to somebody's dad, I'm like their little cum slut, and that cannot be an easy pill to swallow. Unless it was for me, because for me, swallowing, nothing. You guys get that? I swallowed. Everyone get that? Because if you didn't, I would reiterate. Like, there's like no one I'm trying to pick up on this show. Like, I don't know why I'm like, I swallow. Not even that. While you guys are laughing, I'll sneak in a sip. Oh, you guys didn't like that. Okay. My bad. Anyway, I do feel like though being a cum slut and like being a comedian are like kind of similar in the fact that like you don't really know until later in your life if that's what you want to do for a living. Now I'm talking comedian. I don't know if I might want to be. But I feel like that, you're not learning about these at like your high school career fair. Specifically comedians. Obviously, there was no like cum slut at your high school. Like picture me in like lingerie with cum in my face, handing out brochures at your high school. I feel like that, in case if this doesn't pan out, that could be something. But I do feel like that could not be something. Like, that's wrong. But I do feel like it's one of those things where like being a comedian, we're done with cum slut. Like you don't know until like later in your life, like you have to try out a couple of things before you realize you want to do comedy. Like for example, like really stay with me here. Like for a while I thought I wanted to be a pastor. That was just step one of realizing I wanted a microphone. But I feel like there's a couple similarities between like pastors and comedians, like weekly paid gigs, cult-like following. And if you don't laugh at my jokes, technically, if I was a pastor, I could say you're going to hell. Granted, that would be between me and God. That would be really none of your business what I'm doing with God. I personally would not be talking to God because I don't really believe in him. So that would be the big reason I couldn't be a pastor. Probably next to like the cum slut thing. Okay, but picture this, like your pastor, the cum slut. I feel like more of you would be coming to church if that was the situation. My numbers would be high. But speaking of church, I think you guys know, don't worry, no more of this is about religion. I guess none of that was about religion either. But as you know, churches have started opening up, which is my like segue to like, most of you probably know comedy shows are, a lot of them are back in person. But a lot of comedians, like in this group some of us are in, like still post weekly that they have COVID. So I'm, you know, kind of doing us all a little favor here. Putting this together because like, I don't understand why all shows are back in person, because like I cannot think of like a less essential role in society than like a comedian. I just do not understand why. Honestly, maybe a pastor, in my opinion. Those are the two. Sorry, I really don't like religion. I'm really religious. But yeah, that's my hot take on that, on religion, comedy, and cum. That could be like a show. That's like, I feel like that would be something I would go to. As you know, the pandemic has like changed a bunch of things. I mean, we're sitting here at like a Zoom comedy show, but it's also changed dating a lot, which has affected me because as I mentioned, cum slut. When the pandemic happened, I had to hang up like my slutty hat. not my hat, my slut hat, and be a little safer. But I will say, now that I'm like vaccinated and like on my way out, I'm kind of loving pandemic dating because it's literally like the safest I've ever been. Like it's the safest and most selective I've been about like who I'm hooking up with. Granted, we did not use a condom, but other than that, safest I've ever been. I have been thinking now that like, you know, I'm going to be 24 this year. Like if I'm going to be like COVID safe, maybe I should start wearing a condom. Like, I feel like I should have them wear a condom. Like, you know, when we were like 18, when we were in high school, it was like cute and fun to have HPV, but I feel like it's not really, I feel like it's not really cute anymore. You guys are like, we did not have HPV in high school. We're not hot and popular in high school. That's not my fault. But yeah, I did have sex. I did put my slut hat on for one night only. A couple weeks ago, I did have sex for the first time in a year.
Congrats.
Don't clap. It was with a comedian. Oh. and not even one of the funny ones. Not even. They exist, and they go to more mics than me. So, but I am happy to report, first time back on a horse. It was not horse. A horse. That I did not need any of my nursery rhymes. For those of you who don't know, that sounds crazy. You don't know what I'm talking about. During the pandemic, as a little hobby, I rewrote some nursery rhymes to like remember my moves. And I'll define moves for you. I just mean like sucking dick. I just didn't want to forget because I literally did not suck 90 dicks for nothing. I did it to get good. And then I had to hang up my slutty hat, and I was really afraid of the pandemic that I was going to be bad. But I was really happy to see my first time back in it. I didn't need any of my nursery rhymes. We didn't use a cock ring, so I did not need cock ring around the rosy, obviously. I could have used my rendition of row, row the boat, which is rub, rub, rub the clit. Rub, rub, rub the clit, make sure that I'm wet. Spit on it, spit on it, spit it. 4 fingers. Now I'm all set. If I were him, I would have used more spit and 5 fingers, but who am I to judge? So you know what, you guys didn't need that. I'll just text him that for like the next one. You guys don't need to know that I wasn't like super wet when he went down on me. That's like and then my last one, which I was most nervous about. I think we all are looking at me. We see what I look like, and I think you can hear that I have a huge ego. So I think we know, I think I'm a little too hot to be giving out hand jobs. That would be humiliating. So I wrote the hokey pokey blowjob. You put the right ball in, you take the right ball out, left ball in, left ball out, do the hokey pokey, rub your tongue all over the cock until you come on your tits, and that is what it's all about. And I was nervous. I was gonna need it, you know. It was my time to shine. He was uncircumcised, the skin was down, it was go time. And may I say, I didn't need it at all. You know, it's like riding a bike, you never forget. So, you know, I'm fully vaxxed and down to suck. So thanks for your time. I'm gonna give it back to you.
Yes, Hannah, give it one up. Give it, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Give it one up time for Hannah Gerlander, your hostess.